I want to tell you a story about a god of the Northmen called Balder. The second son of Odin, he was beautiful, good and wise. He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments. Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
Can we stay? Let's stay here. I like the bridge. It's not broken. It's fixed. What happened? The bridge is fixed. Let's cross it.
The Northmen tell this story about the death of Balder. It begins with dark dreams. Night after night, Balder dreams of his own death, and the gods fear for his life. So Balder's mother makes everything in the world: fire, water, iron, stone, earth, wood, beasts, birds, serpents, poison, sickness, swear an oath not to harm her son. One by one, they each make their vow. Neither weapons nor wood will injure him, Balder's mother boasts. Only Loki, father of Hela, the mistress of death, is not amused.
Dillion is in there. Don't forget. You can feel it. You need the runes to find Dillion. You need Dillion. He's waiting for you. He always said he's close. He cares about you. He's close. He loves you. Calling you. Dillion. Dillion, we're here. Dillion. We're nearly here. Go through it. It's dangerous. Follow it. What's behind the gate? Where will it take you? It's not safe. Dillion. There he is. There he is. What are you waiting for? Quick, find a way. Find him. Go through. Where is he? Where's he gone? We're in the wrong world. He's not here. She's in the wrong world. He's not in this world. He's in the other one. He's in the other one. He's in the dark world. The dark. The dark world.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light. Narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillion taught her to see further. To peek through the cracks and see the worlds of color stretching away from the gloom. And Senua explored new paths into the unknown.
The gods feast and rejoice and amuse themselves by throwing spears and stones at Balder, striking at him with sword and axe. But he comes to no harm. whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel. But Loki shapes himself into a woman and asks Baldur's mother, "Is it really true that all things promise to keep him safe?" "I did not ask the mistletoe," Baldur's mother confesses. "I thought it was too young." Oh dear.
Do you remember the way he stroked your hair? Do you remember the way you felt? Do you remember the way he stroked your hair? Do you remember the way you felt? And now the darkness is swallowing you both. He was kind to her. Senua, you've got it. Why isn't he here? He's gone. He's in the dark world. He's gone to the dark world. You're in the wrong world. He's in the other world. The dark world. Without you broke him. You killed him. You couldn't see the darkness within you. She thought that she knew best. She thought she had light within her when she has only dark. She is pure darkness. You are guilty. You couldn't see the darkness within you. There he is. Where are you taking me? He's up there. He's up there? How do you get up there? There's a way. You squashed. There is a way up there. She can do it. The curse cannot. You're nearly there. She can find the way.
Loki makes a dart out of mistletoe and goes to the gods as they throw things at Baldur. The blind god, Huth, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking part. Huth says, "I cannot see where Baldur stands, and even if I could see him, I have no weapon." Loki replies, "Here is a wand. I will tell you where he stands." And Huth throws the mistletoe at Baldur. It pierces through him, and to everyone's horror, Baldur is killed. And for this, Huth is slain.
She destroys the thing she loves.
The Northmen tell how the gods mourned Baldur. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage to push it into the sea and sent for a giantess to do it. She comes riding a wolf and has vipers for her reins. She pushes Baldur's ship into the sea with such force that the ground shakes and the rollers burst into flames. When Baldur's wife sees his body carried onto the ship, her heart bursts with grief, and and she dies. She's put next to her husband, and the pyre is lit, sending the dead to hell. But even so, the gods cannot accept his death.
Years had passed since she left her
You're
father.
guilty.
She trained hard alongside her friend, Dillian. She saw things no one else could. Patterns, shapes, movement. An intuition that made her an exceptional warrior. Friendship turned to love. But the shadow of darkness never let her go, and she was caught between two worlds. That of Zinbel
With your
and her
love
past,
because he believed in you.
and Dillian, her future. Two realities tearing at her soul.
Remember Dillian. What do you remember? Do you remember the sound of his voice?
Overcome with grief, the gods send Hermod to ride to Hell and ask Hela to let Balder return home. All the gods are weeping, he says.
Remember meeting him
Are
beneath
they?
the tree?
Asks Hela. We shall see if he is truly missed. If everything in the world will weep for him, he shall go back to the gods. But if even one thing refuses, Balder stays with me. The gods send messengers everywhere. Weep for Balder, weep him out of hell. And everything wept. Men, beasts, earth, stone, trees, metal, everything. Except for a giantess they find in a cave. Balder was never my friend, she says. Let Hel keep what she has. The Northmen say that the giantess must have been Loki in disguise.
He was the only one she could trust. Could she trust him? He led you astray. You should have listened to your father when you had the chance. Why didn't you listen to him? This love has tortured you, and it tortures them. Wasting your time. You have no time for this. Speed up. These rooms you have no chance of They've set you trials to distract you. They've set you up, and now they're going to watch you. What if these trials mean nothing? God's laughing at you. What if they take you no closer to Dillian? That's Dillian, and you're letting this get in the way. What if they are just to tire you out, to make you weak before the battle? You kill the things that are most precious to you. Dillian didn't deserve this.
The Northmen tell how the gods punished Loki for Baldur's death. They captured him and took him to a cave. They fetched his 2 sons and turned one into a wolf, and he ripped his brother apart. The gods used Loki's own son's entrails to tie him down, and turned these bonds to iron, and dangled a poisonous serpent over his face, so that its venom would drip onto him. Each time the venom drips onto Loki's face, he writhes in agony. The Northmen say that is the cause of earthquakes. A reminder, perhaps, that if even gods must accept death, then so must we.
Do you remember how he made you feel? What if this is pointless? What are you doing? Why did you think you could make this work? You keep seeing runes. You see runes everywhere. Everywhere. But what if they're not real? What if they don't actually make sense? The gods were lying. If you think it makes sense, but really the gods are playing with you. It makes sense in your mind, but it doesn't make sense. Believe in the words. The gods in you, but it doesn't mean anything. You can't read this language. You don't understand. Zinbel was right. You're wasting time. You're cursed. You'll never succeed. Slow, quicker. Do you remember him whispering in your ear? Do you remember meeting him beneath the tree? Dillion saved you from them. He cared in a way that nobody else did. He cared in a way that nobody else did. He was the only one that didn't mind the curse. He loved her so much.
Do you know what it was? You're still alive, still alive and
Do you remember the smell of his neck?
He's the reason she's alive at all. Dillion saved her.
You owe your life to Dillion.
You owe everything to him.
He was the only one that really loved her.
He did love her. Do you remember the way he looked? special. She thinks she can do that.
They mean nothing.
Being special. Could all be a waste of her time.
The gods are just... What if the gods are love?
Messing with her.
It wouldn't be this.
Be the first time.
It's all your fault.
You're cursed.
You have no choice.
Dillion! It's not safe. You're going to fall. Dillion never much cared for the underworld. You're going to fall. And looked dimly upon the druids, like her father, Sinbel.
You can do it, so
I guess he took after his father, a chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see,
very careful.
and he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillion's arms, learned to see the world through his eyes. Slowly, the darkness that had bound her so tightly began to unravel.
Go, dear. That's it. Quicker.
Quicker.
Be quick. Be quick. Careful. No. Where's he gone? It's your fault. He's disappeared. You've lost him to the sea. He's gone. You've lost him to the... He's gone to the water. He's drowned.
Senua, your father cannot understand your darkness. He cannot see through your eyes. No one can. My own father was born blind. Doesn't have the faintest idea of what the night looks like. The word dark to him means as little as the word light. So someone is afraid of the dark. Should we fix them by taking away their sight? Would you give up the beautiful world that you, and only you, can see just to be rid of your nightmares? Or is this the price you pay for the gift you have? A gift that makes you so special in my eyes. Just another part of the person I love.
I left for the wilds to protect you from my darkness. Because I love you. But it made it worse. I'm so sorry.
What if this is pointless? What if you're wrong? What if this is nothing to do with the soul? What if we're wrong? The soul will never be yours. What if this is the end? It's just a trick. It's just a pointless test. You've been fooled before, you could be fooled again. You're being tested. You don't know. It's just their game for you. You never know which way it's going to go.